morning, Matt. This is newscaster Carol. Today we have quite a lot of stories on our hand. Stay tuned to hear all of them.
Thank you, Carol. Our first story this morning is about a new rising dictator, Adolf Hitler. He is rising into power after Germany's Great Depression. Hitler is promising that he can get them out of this, and he took power in 1933. Hitler is starting to invade places. On March 12, 1938, Hitler marched his troops into Austria and annexed them. Later in the year, Hitler, Mussolini, and the French Prime Minister all signed a Munich Pact, which sealed the fate of Czechoslovakia and handed it to the Germans. This was the second attempt. 1 year later, he went to Poland and attacked the Navy and Army. Breaking news! Here's Parker.
Breaking news, in Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, 20 naval vessels and 30 airplanes have been damaged from the bombing in Japan. Come to our local art gallery, where we have different types of art for your entertainment.
Thank you, Parker. You may have seen this icon before. She is an icon representing women at home during the workforce. Her name is Rosie the Riveter. Rosie is one of the many types of propaganda used. Women took jobs of all sorts because their husbands were away at war. The war also gave men jobs that got them out of the Depression. Also, when the Depression companies were called in to create more goods, for example, M&Ms were made for the soldiers, and Jeep cars were made to keep them more safe, etc.
Thank you, Abby. At this very hard time, things were rationed such as butter, sugar, and meat. To help out, you can start your very own victory garden to help give the soldiers the food they need. Next, we are going to talk about Japanese internment camps. Japanese internment camps are isolated camps that the United States made for any Japanese people, just in case any of them are spies.
3.
STX.
Thank you, Haley. 5 years ago was the Battle of Britain, which was fought between the Germans and the British. The British Hawker Hurricane was used at this battle and was one of the first times for an aircraft to be used in a war. It was built for the Royal Air Force as a single-seat fighter aircraft. It lasted 3 months and the Royal Air Force won. Then 3 years later was the Battle of Kursk. This lasted a month and was fought between Germany and Russia, and the Russians won. Germany wanted to overthrow France so that he could get to the rest of Europe. France continued to retreat into the Alps, where Italy came and attacked them. When this was built, Hitler began to build the Schwerer Gustav to get through the walls of thick concrete. The gun had huge bullets to cut through the wall.
Thank you, Kiana. In Germany, Hitler is taking over and convincing everyone that the master race is blonde hair and blue eyes, and that the Jewish people should be put in isolated camps. These camps are killing people in mass groups in various ways. The prisoners in the camp are being tortured, starved, and killed every day. If you want to help them, help America win the war.
Thank you, Abby. Starting in June 1940, the African campaign has finally ended 3 years after it started. It started when Italy declared war on June 10, 1940, on Britain and France. Then on June 14th, the British Army captured the Italian Fort Capuzzo, and then the Italian counter-offense took place and they captured Siri Bahraini in Egypt. Aaron Rommel, aka Desert Fox, was given control over troops sent to northern Africa.
Thank you, Parker. These battles did not only happen in Europe, but a few were fought in Japan as well. One of them is the Battle of Santa Cruz, which was fought October 25th to 27th, and was the fourth carrier battle of the Pacific Campaign. This was fought between the US and Japanese navies, and the US won. The Battle of Okinawa was one of the last and bloodiest battles of the war. It was fought April 1st, 1945 on Easter Sunday, and the Allies won.
Purell kills 99.9% germs. Healthy hands start here.
Thanks, Carol. VE Day has just passed. Great Britain and the USA have celebrated victory in Europe. They put up many flags and banners up to rejoice the defeat of the Nazi war machine. The Soviets lost 600 soldiers before they surrendered. Stalin himself said on a radio post that the age-long struggle of the slave nations has ended in victory. Your courage has defeated the Nazis. War is over.
Thank you, Parker. Today in 1944, 16,000 American, British, and Canadian troops are landing on the French line coastline to fight Germany on the beaches of Normandy, France. More than 5,000 ships and 13,000 aircrafts are being used to support this invasion, known as D-Day. All of northern France has been liberated, and it's a huge victory for the Allies.
Thank you, Haley. We are building and planning the creation of an atomic bomb. This was normally referred to as the Manhattan Project. This building happened in New York. This project came about with the fear of Germans making nuclear technology as well. The bomb Little Boy was dropped in Hiroshima around August 6th, and 3 days later, the bomb Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki, Japan.
Thank you, Izzy. Today, September 2nd, in the US, Japan has officially surrendered. Japan surrendered unconditionally to the Allies, effectively ending World War II on August 14, 1945. But not until today, President Truman declared today VJ Day.
Thank you, Abby. There are many things that impacted Georgia throughout the war. For example, around 320,000 Georgians served in the U.S. Armed Forces during the war, and when President Truman ended the war on December 31st, 1946. This also ended the Great Depression in Georgia. It transformed the state's economy and accelerated changes in race relations. Another thing that impacted Georgia was when Lockheed Martin became one of the main industrial centers of Cobb County.
Wait.
I can get you out of this.
Why are you talking?
Thank you, Carol.
I can get
No.
you out.
You have to wait for my finger.
It's another word for chair.
Okay, go. We're filming.
Oh.
Ready on
Okay.
set.
Hitler is starting to invade places. On March 12, 1938, Hitler marched his troops into Austria and annexed them. Put that in that.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're not.
Okay,
Abby?
we're starting over.
Oh,
Wait! Second.
I need to memorize some of this one actually good. Do that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Parker.
Okay, now you go away. We need to back up. Okay.
Oh no, Moshi,
Tell us when to start.
the wind is really not flattering for me at the moment.
I'm filming. Okay, do I go? Oh, okay. 3, 2, 1.
You're laughing.
Am I supposed to not?
Okay, everybody turn around.
Yes, everybody turn around.
Yeah.
Good morning. I can't.
See that?
Head on set. Ready, scene 1, action.
Today. It's okay, Parker. Stop.
Sit up.
Sit up.
Posture.
I'm gonna get like mono in my ear. Mono
What?
in my ear?
You would only get mono if you drank out my water bottle.
Because both of us are
On your
sick.
face.
Is it like sticking out?
No, I just spelled the whole thing. You Okay. Action. No, it's scene 3. Is he scene 2?
Oh my god.
Scene.
Wait.
Scene
let
3.
me
Take
check.
1.
Action. Oh my god. Breaking news and for hard.
No. Okay.
It says a long pause. Do you know?
But the long pause, you have to just stare at the camera and not laugh.
Do you know? But I look.
Action.
Breaking news and Pearl Harbor.
Stop.
Okay, scene 3, take 25, action.
Bombing.
Carol!
Thank you, Parker. Rosie the Riveter, you may know. Why does it say that?
Okay, I'm moving this.
Also gave men jobs like.
No, you're doing closer.
Scene 5, take 1, action.
Okay. Restart the video.
Go. Action.
Thank you, Abby. At this very hard time, things were rationed. No. Okay.
Go. Action. I'm just imagining Abby gardening. Keep gardening. Action. Parker. To the. No, we were doing so good.
Blonde hair and blue eyes. The race is blonde hair and blue eyes. And that the Jewish patient. Go.
Get it together,
Harry
Abby.
filming.
I was. We're
Go.
Thank you, Kiana. Them say
Scared me.
every day.
I'm so sorry. You just looked at the camera for like a split second.
Killing.
Killing.
Wait for the door.
Okay, go.
Go.
Come back.
1. Action.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Action.
Thank you, Abby. Starting in June 1940, the applicant. Oh my God, it has a bump right there. Oh my God. June 10th, 1940, on Britain and France. Then on June 14th, I can't.
You took a.
On June 1940. Oh Lord. Then the Italian counter of. Why does it say counter office?
Go.
Go. Wait, no.
1 second.
Okay.
1. Action.
These battles not only happen in. I forgot the piece.
Okay, I'm ready.
Can I say
Action! Thank you, Carol. VE Day has just passed. Great Britain and the USA celebrated victory in Europe.
Caroline. Action.
Okay, we should.
I was scared.
Oh yeah, you have a fun thank you.
To leave my teeth. Don't video me picking my food out of my teeth, Abby. VE Day has just passed.
You didn't say
thank
you,
Carol. Start over.
More than 5,000.
forgot.
Germany on the beaches of Normandy. Thank you, Parker. Today, 1944, 16,000. Thank you, Parker. Today, 1944, 16,000 American, British, and Canadian troops are landing on the French.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Parker. Today, in 1944, 16,000 Thank you, Parker. Today, in 1944, 16,000 American oh no. liberated, and it's a huge victory for the Allies.
Thank you. Wait, who do I say thank you to? This building happened in New York. This project came about for Germans as well. The bomb little boy was dropped in Hiroshima, August.
Thank you, Haley. We are building and planning the building of a creation, not building. I said buildings.
Is there a problem, Izzy? 3. I can't do this. 3.
Thank you, Abby. Georgians? Oh yeah, Georgians. I can't. Okay.
Oh wait, I'm not. Izzy. Izzy's.
Thank you, Izzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.